Okay, so today we're going to do some step-by-step instructions on how to stir-fry your own vegetables, both frozen and fresh. As you can see here, I've laid out the number of ingredients that you may need. These will depend based on your tastes. And let's start. Okay, so step one, the first thing we're going to do is get your pans together, and we're going to preheat the stoves and the pans so we can get that going. So those should be getting heated. Step two, take your butter, open up your bar of butter, take your time, no rush. Take your butter knife, put a few cuts of butter into each pan. One cut there, and another over there. Maybe a little more on each. That's good. And as you can see, the butter is already beginning to melt in each pan. So now the first thing we should do after that is wait for the butter to melt. So it may take a few seconds. Yeah. Until then, so I guess first we'll start with the first vegetables. First selection is frozen vegetables. The brand of Italian Blend by Green Giant. You can buy these at any superstore or Sobeys nearby. And the others, these are chopped onions, in case you were wondering, along with some spinach. Okay, so by now the butter is nearly melted, so we are going to spread the butter around the pan. So, let it cover the whole pan. Okay, butter's nearly melted. Okay, let's go to step 3. So, this pan over here, we're going to put in our frozen greens. Put in as many as you'd like. I myself am very liberal. That may be a bit too many. If you do find that you put too many in, put some back. Might want 2 servings. And then in the other pan over here, we're going to put in our onions. Stir those around and spread them all over. And then on top of that, we're going to put our spinach. Spread that over the top. And also at the same time, while these are cooking, we're just going to put out some steak. La pièce de résistance. Okay, this is a little torn, but oh, whatever. So I'll put that right in the middle there. Or no, I'll put that off to the side. And we'll just put that in the microwave to sit for now. Oh yeah, and so yeah, if you do happen to have steak that's left over in the fridge, if you're going to heat it up again, usually about a minute or so is good, depending on the strength of your microwave. And also, if you're a little bit impatient, it wouldn't be a bad thing if you turned up the heat a little bit. From medium, which is what it should have been, up to about medium-high. And same thing over here, if willed. And now it's just all about patience. About time we waited for the vegetables to cook. Usually they'll take anywhere from about a good 3 to 6 minutes, depending on whether you like them warm or cold, or soft or hardish. So in the meanwhile, while we're waiting for that, we'll just put away our leftover ingredients back. Okay, so here we are a few minutes later, and yeah, the things are starting to cook a little better. So every now and then, it's key to stir around the vegetables. Make sure everything gets put into its right place. And if you find that things are starting to steam up a little bit like that, just look at that gorgeous steam. If you have a fan on your stove, feel free to turn that on, either high or low. I will keep it on low. And also at the same time, we've heated up our steak over here. Steak. And now, yeah, like any moment, these should be ready. They're still a little bit cold though, and they're still taking a little bit of time, a little frosty, a little warmed up. Maybe we can turn up the heat a few more presses. And it should just be a matter of maybe a minute or two or so, given time. Don't they look good? Okay, so again we've waited about a minute or so and the vegetables have started to steam up a little more. As you can see, they haven't changed too much, but they're nearly done. Now if you want to test it, you can touch the vegetables some with your finger. Test for their heat, hotness, if you're ballsy. Let me go over back to our onions here, and as you can see, the spinach is wilting. The onions, they're starting to get a good smell on them, strong smell. They're still a little bit whitish though. They should be brown a little bit on the bottom, just a little though, almost caramel. And over here, the steak's still waiting. Still looks good. Yeah, so like any minute here, if we feel this guy. His head's still a little cold. Okay, yeah, so I think we are just about done here. So, when you think that your vegetables are done, and after you've felt them a few times, and when you think they're ready, and you've cooked them to their desiredness, yeah, it's just turn off the heat, turn up the fan if it was on a lower level before. We'll turn off the heat over here as well. And just give them a few seconds to simmer and cool off a little bit, but not by too much. And then, next to the steak here, after fixing that in place, we'll take the vegetables, take the pan off first, or whichever one you want to put on first. And then using the wooden spoon here, we are going to pile on the vegetables onto the plate, next to the steak. That's one. And then we'll take this plate over here and put that. And put the onions and spinach on the plate. Yeah, it's quite a plateful, as you'll see in a moment with a better look. Yeah. Just look at all of that.
Say bon appetit.
Mmm.